Hey, it's Mark back with what I hope to be another helpful audio tutorial. In this video, as the title card spoiled, we will be optimizing our Adobe Audition workspaces to suit our needs. I'm going to share my screen with you, share my layout with you, and explain some of my priorities and thinking behind it. And then I'll leave it with you. You can set up your workspace however you see fit. And it's really no concern to me. You know, whatever works best for you and how you interact with your audio is what's important to me. I want you to work as comfortably and as best you can. So without further ado, let's hop on in. This is my basic editing workspace right here. As you can see, it's somewhat minimal. There's not a lot on the screen here, so let's dive in. Important for me is to make sure the editor window is dominant on the screen. And you can resize any and all of these panes just by mousing over some of the lines in between. And then you can left click and then you can sort of squish and stretch however you see fit. So let's leave it here for a moment. Second on my list is this files window over here on the left. I really like having this open because that allows me to interact with different audio files, many different audio files all at once. And every time I open a file, it'll populate a list on the left-hand side. I can double click, it'll show up on the editor, and then I can, I can cut and trim and whatever to each individual audio file one at a time. Then down here in the lower right-hand corner is the selection and view window. And this helps us do math. I can highlight a clip from here to here and it'll say it's 17.358 seconds or whatever it is. That's super handy. It also tells you where a clip begins, where a clip ends. It's all helpful for writing a script and making notes for finding things later. The other element is this levels meter here. This is really useful if you intend to do voiceover into Audition, which you can do, and I can do a video on that later. But levels will tell you if they're too high, you'll be distorted. If it's too low, then you're probably going to need to revisit your settings as well. How do you get windows back if you kill one of them? Well, window, and here's a list of all of the available windows and panes that we can sort of spawn in. So let's go with video, because this is one of the tiles that comes when you first default, vanilla install Audition. We don't really need it. We're not working with video unless we're doing some something that's picture locked and we're going to add sound effects to a film or something like that. But we're not doing that just yet. So let's relax. You just hit the 3 lines and close the panel and it goes away. You'll also see that I have a markers window open here on the left. If you've got a really long file, you can play it back. You press M or F8 to insert a visual cue, and you can go to the markers pane afterwards and rename those. And that's really helpful for labeling all the questions you asked in an interview or where a special clip is or what have you, and I'll leave that with you. If you hold Control, actually, you can left click and move these around and they will sort of stick or they will dock in certain areas. If you hold Control, you can actually make them float, which is kind of cool, but I'm not really sure if this feature has any value. I'll leave it with you to find some use for this. Maybe this works for you. I don't know. This right now is bothering me. It's in my way. So let's put everything back and we can just click default. And it should actually, there you go. We can put everything back really plain and simply by using the options in the upper right-hand corner there. If you want, you can save changes to your workspace or reset to the saved layout as I just did. Let's hop over to the multi-track just for a real quick gander. Much of the same. The only thing that changed is that it's now the multi-track view instead of the editor view. Everything else stays the same. Important on this window is the files pane. All of your elements, all of your assets that you may need to build your story will be listed there. And then you can just quickly drag and drop them into the multi-track without any issues. You don't have to go searching for anything as long as you open everything up at the beginning. So that is a little bit about my layout and how you can manipulate it to suit your needs. If you have any questions, get at me. Happy to help, happy to talk. If a window's missing or something, I'm sure we can get it back. See you in the next one.